What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the den. Well, not quite the den. We're outside today. I wanted to give you guys a little change of scenery, flip it up a little bit, switch it up, give you guys something different to look at. I know it can get kind of, boring sitting in the den in the office all the time. So that's what I'm doing today, give you guys a little change of scenery. Dedicating this channel to helping each and every one of you guys out in your everyday lives and careers is what we're going to continue to do. But I had a revelation. The culture has been so fixated on the end goal and making sure that we're successful and meeting all the things and checking off all the boxes that we need to check in order to make it to the end destination. And we do that so much so that we begin to miss everything between A, the starting point, and Z, the end point. Every letter in between we begin to miss because we're so fixated. You hear the dog in the back? We're so fixated on wanting the win, the prize, the end goal. And we just miss out on each and every one of the life lessons, or a lot of the life lessons that we are meant to take in, absorb, and use and be able to gain more wisdom. And that's what I want you guys to realize. It's okay to want or have a goal or want to reach it, but I want you guys to really slow down a little bit. Understand that you are here in the now, and there's so many things that you are missing out on because you don't want to hurt, or you don't want the pain or the struggle in the middle. You just want the end goal, and we end up fast forwarding through all of that in hopes, in the pursuits of gaining that victory. So I want you guys just to remember what I'm saying. Slow down. You're going to win if you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. If you are really focused in and you're being righteous in your path, you're going to make it. You're going to make it there. Yes, you're supposed to have the ups, you're supposed to have the downs, you're supposed to have the trips and falls, and you're supposed to learn. And that is part of the pain that we use to grow. And I don't want you guys to skip out on that because it's a little stressful or it's hard. So remember that. The ones of you that have children, focus in on them. Focus in, because that time goes by real fast. If you got friends and family here, they might not always be here. So take that in as well too. We want to talk a little bit about wisdom in the workplace and the workforce, gaining the wisdom necessary to catapult you, more so the wisdom that you'll need in the start of your career or in the workforce. We all have that same complaint, being out in the workforce. You're new and you're putting in applications, and the first thing they say is they want XYZ education, and then they want XYZ experience, but nobody will hire you. To gain that experience. If you haven't noticed by now, it's not all about what you know and how smart you are, but who you know, right? And if you're not a person that has those connections and who you know, you're going to have to use more of the wisdom in order to skip some of those hurdles. You're going to have to be able to use the wisdom. That wisdom is worth way more than silver and way more than gold. We're not only supposed to be able to pull in that knowledge, but we have to actually enact that wisdom. When you're in the hiring process, more than likely you're going to have department manager or wherever you're at, and then the head manager or the lead manager of whatever corporation you're working at. And a lot of times those corporate managers have MBAs, and a lot of those MBAs have the framework of being very data driven, and they have to be, because their jobs are focused in on data. Their bosses are going to look at their performance, their plant or their office performance, and then therefore extrapolate that data into whether you're going to get a raise, or whether they're going to close your department, or whether they need to trim the fat and get rid of some of you guys. So their jobs are really data driven. A part of the learning that wisdom is how to think like them ahead of time. What are the things they want to see ahead of time before you go into that job, before you put in that application and that resume? They're very data driven. If you don't have somebody to teach you how to write a good resume, you're just going to put what you've done, where you worked at, how long. The wisdom of this is learning how to use their frame of mind in order to give them the answers they want to see. We're not going to say we worked at ABC company for 3 years doing inventory management, because they don't. That's just telling you that you worked there for X amount of years, and it's good if you worked there for X amount of years because you were doing something that you were supposed to do. But instead of just putting X amount of years, we're going to put, I worked in XYZ company as an inventory specialist, and I was able to successfully drive down inventory 30% from 1 year to year 3, saving the company an average of $3,000 a year. That's what they want to see. They'll see that, and they'll know that you really are capable of knowing what, not only doing the job, but knowing what your job consists of, and ultimately, like each and every one of these companies, saving money. Because that's what they're in to do, right? Saving money. And if you can show that you're able to save a company money, you're going to be at the top of their list for a lot of different promotions. Even if you don't know anything about the next division you might want to work at in that company. Or let's say you are an auditor, right? You just don't want to put in, I worked as an auditor for X years. You want to say that you successfully participated in, let's say, 5 audits over the course of 7 years, driving down audit findings from 3 majors and 5 minors to 1 major finding and 2 minor findings, successfully improving the overall operations of said company. That's more of the details that they're looking for when they are looking at your resume. And then when you go into that actual interview, which you're going to make it into the next interview, I promise you. If you show that kind of detail, there's no doubt about it that you're going to make it to the next step. If you're that detail oriented and you're taking your positions that seriously, that you're taking down the actual numbers that are driving the improvements in that company, they're going to call you back, and then you're going to come back and tell me that works. So that's some of the knowledge that you're going to need to give you the leg up, because a lot of these head people do know people. They've made the connections, they have the experience, they have just the time there to meet people. They're going golfing with some of these people. They're doing all kind of things that you haven't had a chance to do yet. We're just trying to make your way in there, and you got to have a way to get ahead, because biblically or not, it's all business. In the first part of business, the first rule of business is supply and demand, right? And right now, what is it? We have an oversupply of degreed people. It's just what it is. And therefore, with an oversupply of degreed people, it drives the value of every degree down. I know people don't like to hear that, and everybody says education, degree, but they forget the first law of economics and business is supply and demand. The supply is way too high. There's a million people around the corner with the same degree that you have. Therefore, they have the pick of the litter. They can pick anybody, which means that your degree is just not worth as much as it was 20 years ago. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but that is what it is. That's why you see people having to go get a master's and get a PhD just to turn around and make $70,000 as an office manager themselves. Which means not that you have to give up, that you just have to be more creative in order to get ahead of some of your competition. I know it was a quick snippet of something you can do, but it is nonetheless wisdom. I gained that wisdom through knowledge, right? Through being able to see the frustrations of not getting the positions and not understanding, because in so many years doing this and doing a said position and not getting it. That's the knowledge that you gain, right? And the wisdom that I gain from that knowledge, I am in turn showing you and giving you that knowledge. That way you can use it and use it as a wisdom, and then change your life as well. Guys, thank you. I appreciate you being here. I like being in nature. It's not 115 degrees outside. So I hope each and every one of you are doing the same. Be careful, be safe, get the wisdom, and share it with others. That's all that really matters. Until next time, everybody.